The weather was wet and wild in Mount Buller for the start of the fourth round of the Jayco Australian Mountain Bike Series. The elite women's cross-country field was the first to contend with the challenging conditions.
You know I know how to make them stop and stare as I zone out. The clock ain't even handle me right now. Watching me, I go all out.
National mountain bike cross-country champion Marina Fry was keen to stamp her authority on the event and led early in the race. But New Zealand's Fiona McDermott closed the gap and took the lead on lap 2. McDermott, who won bronze at last year's Oceania Championships, looked set for a comfortable victory, but a puncture midway through the fifth and final 5.1 kilometre lap forced her out of the race in the closing stages. Fry pushed on to win almost 2 minutes ahead of Victorian Jenny King.
Yeah, I actually thought it went across the line that I got in second, so I didn't really celebrate. But yeah, I was a bit fortunate. Fiona was riding really fantastic, and if she hadn't had it flat, she would have won.
Canberra's Rebecca Henderson took out the under-23 category.
Oh, they were up there. They were shocking conditions, and it just got worse and worse for the men. So I think we actually got quite lucky racing early in the morning.
In the men's cross-country, four-time national champion Chris Yongaward, who was the pre-race favourite, secured an early lead on the first lap. The testing conditions took its toll on riders and equipment, with many dealing with mechanicals throughout the race. Yongaward was no exception, puncturing on lap 2 and surrendering his lead to Athens Olympian Sid Taberley. But after a quick change, Yongaward was back in action and the chase began. Taberley looked strong out in front, but it was the South Australian who regained the lead on lap 4, riding to a comfortable victory. It was Yongaward's second consecutive win after success in the previous round in Hobart.
Yeah, it's been a pretty hard lead up to the race. Started with a new coach, so it's been pretty tough. I didn't really expect to be going that well, but yeah, I got a good start, and the track's really technical, so I was feeling good for that. And then had some problems the second lap, got a flat, and then managed to. Yeah, the change was really quick, so I didn't lose too much. Sid was going really well, so I thought he was off, and I didn't think I'd catch him again. And then come around the third lap, I'd seen him in the distance, and thought, oh well, I'll give it a go. And the legs were good, and they sort of started coming good towards the end of the race. So yeah, it was good to catch him again.
And how did you find the conditions weather-wise? I mean, it's been raining non-stop for about 24 hours here. It seemed as though it could be pretty dangerous, especially down some of those descents.
Yeah, it was. I think it was more to the point where, like, third and fourth lap, when it stopped raining, it got a lot slipperier and a lot more gluggy. So you just didn't have any traction. The water wasn't running the mud off, so it started drying up. So then the traction got less, and we had to get off and run a couple of times. So once it started raining again, believe it or not, it actually gets a little bit easier. So
Paul van der Ploeg won the under-23 category.
You're known for your celebrations at the finish line. How much were you preparing in your head? All right, what are my options? And you chose the rowboat.
Well, when it got to the point where the tracks were just complete creeks, I was like, well, I think we're just going to have to row it over the finish line. But yeah, it was pretty spontaneous, the sort of last-minute decision.
Mount Buller turned on the snow as the temperature dropped to 0 degrees for the start of the under-19 men's downhill. All eyes were on junior world champion Troy Brosnan to see if he could claim a hat-trick of National Series wins. However, when close rival Connor Ferrin posted a time of 3 minutes and 36 seconds, it was going to come down to the wire. Brosnan powered to the line to yet again narrowly defeat his rival by less than a second.
It's a real good battle between us two, and we push ourselves more and more and faster, and you can kind of tell that in the times we're up there with the elite men. So yeah, it's definitely good that juniors are coming up through, and there's at least 5 real fast ones.
In the women's downhill, it was series leader Leonie Picton who made it 3 consecutive National Series wins with a flawless run to the finish in 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, very excited. Having Jill Kitney here from America, I thought not a chance, but she crashed out, so a bit unfortunate for her, but very fortunate for me, yeah.
How much confidence does it give you moving forward in future events?
Yeah, heaps. When I first started the National Series, I was like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing, and then my bike skills progressed, and here I am, so it's a huge confidence boost.
Standing in line to see the show tonight, and there's a light on, heavy glow. By the way, I tried to say I'd be there, waiting for Danny the girl is singing songs to me beneath the marquee overload. Stick knife, car chop, con job, boot cut. Skin that flick, she's such a little DJ. Get that quick by street, but on the freeway. Turn that trick to make a little leeway. Beat that nick, but not the way that we play. Dogtown, bloodbath, ribcage, soft tail. Standing in line to see the show tonight, and there's a light on, heavy glow. By the way, I tried to say.
Brian Atkinson in the elite men's downhill, who qualified fastest, took out the overall title. Atkinson maintained an 8-second advantage over his brother Reese, with veteran Nathan Rennie rounding out the podium in third.
Yeah, I was stoked. Reese is riding awesome, and to come down here and race with him when he's been smashing it every weekend is always a good thing. So I'm pretty happy, and pin it back home tonight with some money and a smile on our face.
What's the rivalry like between you and your brother?
Oh, you know, we're actually a bit of a loving family. You know, we don't really get into too many scuffles. So it's, you know, I push him, he pushes me. I learn a lot from him. So, you know, we battle on and off. So it's a good thing.
How'd you find the course out there? There's been a lot of rain, obviously, in the last couple of days. Was it pretty tricky conditions?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that come into it because, you know, we're at altitude, and then the weather, you know, it was just raining the whole time. And other than today, you know, it actually makes it a little more difficult when the rain stops because the mud starts to fall, like get pulled onto the rocks and the logs and stuff like that. It makes them a little slipperier. So it was pretty difficult conditions today, like especially in the final. So yeah, it was nice to be able to make it down the hill because it was really pretty technical.
In the elite short course event, it was once again frosty conditions that greeted the women who battled it out at the top of Mount Buller.
I gotta turn this car around.
Tasmanian Rowena Fry showed off her supreme strength in the shorter version of racing, leading from start to finish ahead of Catherine O'Shea and Rebecca Henderson.
It was absolutely freezing. That is probably the coldest racing I've ever done, and the longer the race went, the colder I got. It was really cold.
How bad is it when your hands, I think you said you couldn't even change your gears near the end?
No, I couldn't change gears, couldn't brake, so I nearly cried at the finish line. It was so painful, I was feeling sick.
So overall, it's been a great weekend for weather for you.
Oh, it's been fantastic. People have been joking off from Tassie, but man, it's sunny down there this weekend, so yeah, it was a pretty tough weekend.
Try this. Through strength I found love.
In the elite men's race, reigning National Series champion Lachlan Norris went out hard and opened up a 20-metre advantage early.
Through strength I found love. In time.
Matthew Fleming and Peter Hatton worked hard to bridge the gap, and at the 10-minute mark, Fleming hit the front. But with 5 laps remaining, Norris made his move on the outside, pulling away to a 10-metre lead, which he held to the end.
Yeah, it was a tough day today, but definitely good to get one on the board. Start off the year with a win. I mean, yesterday was a bit disappointing for me, so today I was pretty keen to have a win, and Obviously the conditions, it doesn't suit anyone, I don't think, so you just have to grit your teeth and just get out there and have a crack. So
You went pretty hard from the start. Was that always the tactic? And then the lead was sort of changing hands, but you managed to pull away at the end?
yeah, I guess the theory was just get some clear track and just take it at my own pace and definitely put the pressure on the guys back behind me. I did expect them to come across, but I knew that I had that extra kick when I needed it, so I guess it went right to plan. So
The final round of the National Series will run in conjunction with the Oceania Championships in Shepparton next month. Sophie Smith for Cycling Central.